there's not any kind of, there's not like, there is some, you can, after the fact, take a look at success and say, these are the factors that led to it. But that doesn't mean that you can like just isolate those things and then
But even those people that are
parts,
doing horribly,
yeah,
I would say that many of them are doing better than they were.
I don't know. There's people.
I know.
I'm not going to name names, but there's comics that are extremely funny.
Yeah,
and that
who haven't caught on.
Yeah, but they have exposure. People know who they are, and they're good, and like they should be doing better than they are.
Yeah,
and for whatever reason, it just doesn't. Like it's like watching like a airplane try to start. Like
yeah. You know what I will say that I really appreciate about you, Shane. Like, from an outside perspective, it's from a brown person's perspective.
Oh, we're going to do that now?
Brown person's perspective.
Okay. Faggot listening.
I like the fact that people can no longer say that they're not succeeding because they're white guys. That was a thing for a few years. We were like, dude, I'm a white guy. We're just not getting booked. And it's like, that's just not the case anymore.
True.
They love white guys again. White guys are back in a massive way in the industry. Tom Segura, Burt, fucking Matt Rife.
I think when the white guy thing was happening, that was more like people. I heard that more with guys going like, I can't get a writing job. And that was true.
Yeah.
Because they're telling me, their agents were telling them, we need to staff this.
But it's funny because it also like, it fucked over the people that, I don't know, they were trying to, I didn't feel that. And I don't think like Kurt did either because they would staff a room and then they would have...
This is kefir, by the way. It's not a glass of milk. I
feel like it's rude to say diversity hires or whatever, but you would have a diverse writer's room. But then they would hire a white guy, and the white guy they would hire would always be like a white guy with darker sensibilities that would say stuff that would be perceived as offensive because that in and of itself is a type of diversity. Who wouldn't get hired as the white guys that are like, guys, can we just be a little nicer to women, please?
Right.
You know, those guys wouldn't get hired.
Right.
Because it's like, well...
The guys who secretly wanted to rape everyone in the room wouldn't get hired.
I mean, that's probably the reason. I don't know.
Can we just be a little kinder to these ladies?
Yeah.
And do you need a ride home?
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm a rapist.
Yeah.
The UCB cat sweater.
Yeah.
Aggressive messenger.
I would love to do a little like movie about a character. I have a character in my head that is one of those guys because that was such an annoying type of guy 10 years ago.
Yeah, so
but they were everywhere.
Ultra feminist cat sweater wearing rapist.
Right, exactly. Yeah, and they always had a name like Brandon Scott Eric.
One of the they
always had a name.
Yes, it was always three names,
4 first names.
Yeah, it was. Yes.
Yeah, I'm David Brandon Scott.
One of the shortest and most ill-fated podcasts of the boom was not Bastard Radio. It was a podcast called Rape Dicks.
Rape Dicks.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Rape Dicks.
Yeah.
Where Luis Gomez, myself, and I believe Karen Feehan were investigating open mic rape claims.
Comedy rapes.
Comedy rapes. And employing our knowledge of the, and by the way, the most famous rape, probably, or one of them, but probably the most famous rape. We investigated it, and it got weird. It actually got cool.
Mm-hmm. It was hilarious. It was...
We found some very interesting things happening, and it didn't add up. Remember that? Remember how exciting it was?
It was the girl rape, right?
No, that was one of the other episodes.
That was where we actually had her on?
That was hilarious. And she said, that Casey Anthony thing is still my favorite moment of
the highlight of that whole era in New
York.
Aaron,
you know his name.
Yeah. But the highlight of all of the Me Too's in New York comedy was when Ray Kump and...
Margot Reese.
Mark Reese and Ray Kump were canceling each other.
Yeah.
I don't
they were like, I don't know, like fucking...
I think
Mark touched Ray's tit, and then Ray grabbed Mark's penis, and then they had like a 2-day battle on Facebook where Ray's like, well, you touched my breasts first.
You attacked me first. I was defending
you touched my breasts first.
And then Margot, I think, Mark started to lose, so he transitioned.
Was it that one of those? Oh, yeah.
Perhaps. I don't know.
But there was another one of those, and
I think that's what happens. I think you get in an argument at a bank and you start to lose. You go, I'm a woman now.
That put an end to it. There was no more. It was that one and the other one where, and this was the funniest one because I remember this was back when I was on Facebook. I like woke up. I go onto Facebook. And I wasn't really checked into, I really kind of only ever hung out at the stand. So I was never really fully integrated in the New York stand-up scene. And
that's why I saw you.
I see on Facebook that someone's saying, just to let everyone know, Mo Faffelbab is a rapist.
Yes.
And I was like,
I remember this.
He ran that very woke Brooklyn comedy.
Mo Faffelbab.
Yeah, well, I was like,
very woke comedy.
I was like, there's no way that that's a name.
What was it called? That thing he ran.
Sesame Street?
Yeah. It was like the fucking, was it the Annoyance Theater? No,
Yeah,
it was
maybe.
like, it was something where it was like the Brooklyn Comedy Collective, or it was like come to the comedy commune or whatever.
Yeah.
And then
then that also turned into, then the story came out and he was like, no, I blacked out and you raped me. And then it was him and this woman arguing about who raped who. And it just turned the whole thing into like a laughing stock. And then nobody was
Well, we
canceling.
found some weird shit with the Glazer thing, where we found some stuff where it was remember we found that non-binary person in the mix, and it was like these two women, and we interviewed his roommate.
I completely forgot about that entire thing.
It was actually amazing.
It was really great. I don't even know where you can find that podcast.
I don't either.
Is it a real ass podcast? Is it on that feed?
It had to be.
Doggy, that shit was fucking wild. And then the reason we stopped was because it actually got dark.
It got dark.
We actually started uncovering shit where it was like, we're talking
Can you
like.
tell me what happened?
Well, so here's the thing.
I feel left out. There's a big rape story. And
This guy was not really right. He was not a successful comic, but he was completely thrown out of the scene because two women claimed that he
drugged and
raped them. And me and Lewis wanted to know more. So we interviewed his roommate. Now his roommate said
also too that whole thing blew up because when it initially happened, when the firestorm initially started, there was people saying, "Oh, this guy's a rapist," and it was based on a screen cap of an anonymous message from somebody who works at UCB who said that somebody else said this guy was a rapist.
Right.
So it was like,
and that's when Metzger got involved, and he was right to say we can't.
I mean, that's
and I was like, look, you can't fucking destroy a guy. But then once we started,
but there was not even details. It was just that he's a rapist.
As soon as we started talking, as soon as we spoke to two people that knew him, we were like, this is a dark individual.
Yeah, we're like, he's a dark individual. But also, I think it was one of those situations where I think everybody was lying.
Yeah.
Because that's what you realize when you get to the depths of these, everybody's lying. And then you start going, oh, he is a rapist, but he might not have raped those people when they said he did.
Yeah.
Because the roommate's telling us the time the girl saying it happened, he never brought one girl home ever.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the hell.
But then the roommate was like, but no, this guy rapes.
But then the roommate's like, but he's also a rapist. But it was literally
no.
It
He
was
just
crazy.
didn't rape those girls.
She was like, we're like, so he's innocent. She goes, no, he's a rapist. I'm like, wait a minute, hold on. It got so complex. We were on phones in a bar eating and like doing actual research.
And this is before, what's that podcast that got huge?
Didn't we call him?
Yeah, we did.
We called him.
What was the podcast that got huge with Adnan Syed?
Serial. This is the original one.
This is
literally the original Serial. And we called him. And we're like, we're investigating your rape claim. And he goes, who is this? And we went, it's Luis Gomez. He thought it was a cop.
Yeah.
I said, it's Luis Gomez and Tim Dillon. And we're investigating your rape. And he's like, okay.
Shit. The Me Too movement was so huge for a fucking hot minute, and rape didn't stop. Or maybe it worked. Maybe people stopped raping, but I just think it, like anything else, was a fucking fad. It's crowd work videos.
They shut it down after the Tara Reid thing. That's where it ended.
What?
Like Tara Reid made claims against Joe Biden, and then they had to write art. There was articles.
Wait, Tara Reid,
No, different Tara Reid.
Okay, I was like, wait.
No, she was a staffer. She was a staffer in the '90s. She made claims against him, and then she ended up like defecting to Russia. And so now people...
Right, because she was saying okay, now I remember.
Yeah, no, so there was rape claims against him. But then when that happened, this came up...
Reid worked for Biden as a congressional aide in 92 and 93 and later attended Antioch University. She later... Reid misrepresented herself and her life experience on numerous occasions. Okay, so this is all just... nothing ever happened.
When this happened, then there had to be articles that were like, well, believe all women doesn't actually mean
believe all women. Yeah. That's the thing. Once someone comes out and goes at one of the sacred cows, they go, oh, actually, we didn't mean believe all women.
Yeah.
Also, believe all women is the craziest thing in the fucking world.
It's crazy.
It's psychotic. The craziest person we all know is a woman. Guarantee. If you
Right.
think about the
But-
craziest
but-
person you've
but-
ever met in
but-
your
but-
entire life, it's a fucking female guarantee.
I mean, also the point, the substance of the believe all women doesn't mean like, you know, they're incapable of lying in the same way that Black Lives Matter doesn't mean that like white lives don't matter. You know, it's like, it's not that, it's mainly directed at the people who are supposed to investigate these things, like the police, for example.
Is it though? Because I don't think so. Because you'll see it. It's still to this day.
It might
you'll
have
see,
started as that, Nick, but it really became more of a cultural thing.
On social
Yeah.
media.
Well, that's where social media became life for everybody.
Well, this
is where
this proves that the level of nuance
Believe all
that
women
you're
did
demanding.
mean for a while there that if a woman claims to have been assaulted,
Yeah.
she's not lying.
But this proves
I mean, that was the
this
yeah.
proves that it never meant that. Because
Sure, I don't believe it ever meant that.
Because the people that were the most diehard supporters of it, like, obviously held that nuance in their heads because something like this comes up and they're like, well, you know
Right.
what I mean.
Of course.
they have
Right.
they have no problem with the collateral damage when it's happening to their enemies.
Oh, I mean,
but
not
also,
at all.
I mean, I don't know. Are people really investigating this? No, you the same people on the
Nobody's
other side.
investigating
Right,
this.
you get happy. You're like, oh yeah, no, he did it, no matter what, because fuck Joe
Right.
Biden.
Right.
Which
Yeah,
I'm
but
on
that's
board with.
on
I don't
social
care.
media. What it sort of became was like, you know, somebody would claim something, like a girl.
Yeah.
I just saw this happen recently. Another comic got accused of some shit. Some girl posts something very vague, the thing that she posts, and people are just responding to it. # believe all women. I believe you. I'm so sorry this happened to you. You're like just
Right.
just a blind accusation. You can just do that, and just randomly people will just blindly follow it. That's kind of crazy.
I just love the idea of like
It was me, guys.
No,
I'm being
I
being taken down.
the people are represented by two equally important groups, Luis Gomez and Tim Dillon, rape dicks. And we just have to go back
I'll bring it back right now, Tim.
and just because here's the thing, there are answers to all of these open mic comedy rapes.
Mm-hmm.
If you look hard enough.
I know. I think the answer is that it's not any more prevalent in comedy than it is
Anywhere
in
else.
This building, the people who work here, they deal with sexual assault, and
I've
they
been
deal
raped
with.
3 times
He
here.
loved it.
I walk it off. Who cares? Not a big deal.
Tim walks in the elevator backwards.
I try to get raped.
I had my anus and genitals removed after seeing the Barbie movie. So it's not really something I have to worry about.
That makes a lot of sense. I had Caitlin